Hi everybody, this is Dave Peterson. Right now, transmitting from Santa Barbara, California. I want to talk a little bit about cameras. We've been watching camera videos about lenses, camera videos on bald. Look at that, that's just chrome in it, chrome dome. So I always tell people when I'm trying to take their picture, take off your glasses, take off your hat. I mean, why would you take a picture of somebody with glasses and a hat on? So this is what I want to talk. This is kind of a message to black magic. I've been watching these videos about a lot of YouTubers. We've been watching these camera conspiracy videos. Now, we all know vlogging and the news, it's all about trying to make the news, but making the news from private, or what we'd say personal level. And that's what all the big channels are doing. They're giving people news. You see people who've got 1 million views, 400,000 views. So this is my message. If Black Magic wanted to come out with a new camera, instead of coming out with like the 6K Pro, which is a great, EF mount. I want to get that camera. I really do. I called up a camera company in Los Angeles, and they told me $2,650 out the door, cash, right? $2,650. So we know what we've seen on YouTube, and we know some of these people are, I don't know. I want to make a contest to all these YouTubers. I would like to have 4 or 5 YouTubers at the beach or somewhere with one of those Blackmagic 4K cameras and put a fresh brand new battery in there, charged up, turn the camera on and shoot the whole battery and shoot it, and take video of whatever frame rate you're going to be taking at. This whole thing about 4K 60 and all the different resolution settings is great. It's great, awesome, Blackmagic RAW, whatever. I haven't even gotten past ProRes LT yet. ProRes LT HQ, which is like the third to lowest setting on the Blackmagic camera. I want to make a bunch of jokes like these guys do, but the real reason is that some of these YouTubers are right. There's a few guys on there that are hitting it on the head. There's a few of them that are really good. So what I'm going to say is, if Blackmagic really wanted to come out with a new camera that would be today's bombshell, it would be a 4K Pro. Blackmagic 4K Pro. And if they would do it with selectable mounts, like if you wanted RF or EF or micro four thirds or PL or even an old AF, so guys could run their father's lenses. Like I have some AF lenses from my father, some Nikon lenses. But that's where I think that they should do it, with a removable screen. Tilta came out with a 4K movable screen so you could flip the screen up, but then it would be upside down. But anyway, a removable screen that you could put on the left, the right, the top, on the side, on the right side, on the left side, looking forward, looking backwards. And a real, like Tilta did, the NVMe slot, just have an NVMe slot. Have the T5 plug right into the camera instead of having the CF card there. Have 2 SD slots and then have an external battery. Just go directly with the external battery. If you want to have a V mount or whatever the other one is, or Sony NPF mount, you know, like so you could have some big gnarly honking battery out the back of the camera. You know, if battery problem is going to be a problem, I mean, I just don't see people. I mean, even if you did have like 3 batteries or 5 batteries, I don't think you could even shoot all those batteries in one day. So, built-in NDs, global shutter, built-in NDs, global shutter, 4K 60, 4K 120, 4K 240. Some crazy. What people don't realize about Blackmagic is the Blackmagic 4K camera is really, it's a gift. It's a gift. There's no way you could consider, I mean, if you look at other camera systems, like, I have an Inspire 2. If you want to film in ProRes 442 with a built-in SD that they supply with that, you got to pay for the license to fly those recordings $1,400 just for the license to put on the drone to be able to film at those rates. Then they have, the only thing they give you with an SSD is unlimited picture. You could have unlimited bursts. I mean, you could do 500 pictures in, wow, just seconds. I mean, not very long. I mean, it's really fast. You'll take 300-400 pictures in just a very short time. So if you had to add that in to the price of the camera, they're giving the camera away. They're just free. It's free. You're basically, when you pay the $1,300 plus tax for a Blackmagic 4K, you're basically just paying for the license to use those frame rates and options that they give you for free. Then they give you, you know, ProRes 17, the commercial. The thing is, it's free too, but you can only do up to 1080. You can render to 1080 for free. After 1080, if you want to render in 4K, you've got to have the commercial edition that comes with a camera. So, big shout out to Camera Conspiracies. Big shout out to Gerald Undone. Big shout out to all the YouTubers. You know, I want to do shout out shows. But, so, what would be the optimal camera? I want Camera Conspiracies to tell Blackmagic what they need to do. You know, because I think vlogging and YouTube and live broadcasting. I mean, I wish I could broadcast live, but I need to have 5,000 subscribed people to my channel. So my message is to everybody, don't be fooled. Show me that you can film a whole battery. If you complain about the battery life, you get in the park, turn your camera off. Remember, you cannot turn your camera off. Because if you turn your camera off and then turn it back on, then your battery life will be blown. It's over. It's over. Once you turn your camera off, you need to change the battery and put a freshly charged battery in your camera before you turn it back on. Just forget about turning your camera on and off. But I'd like to see you shoot a whole battery and see how long it lasted and see how you feel, how much energy you have. How many more batteries are you going to shoot in a day? A full battery without turning the camera off. You know, because this isn't turn the camera on, take a couple pictures, turn the camera off, go somewhere else, take a couple more pictures. No. This is turn the camera on and film till the battery's dead. So, to sum it up, what would be the perfect camera? Global shutter, changeable lens mounts from the factory. I mean, you want to just give me different mounts to mount on there. with 6 screws or 5 screws that are easy to take in and out, that don't strip, that don't get messed up. You know, you want PL? You want RF? You want to run those new RF lenses? You want to do EF? You want to do micro four thirds? You decide. You decide. We'll give you the adapters. I mean, it's a little metal ring that goes on the end of the camera. Come on. You know, and then maybe give it a top handle or something. Give it a flippy screen. Give it an NVMe slot. You know, that little thin one that's like a terabyte that you just slap in there. You know, another thing that I'd like to see, I see a lot of these surf videos and they're just raw, you know, and I want to drop, you know, let's say I film a battery and I've got 40 clips that are between 30 and 30 to 45 seconds each, let's say. Because I really feel like each clip should be between 30, should be about 30 seconds. Each clip should be about 30 seconds. That would be a nice clip. That I can just take my 40 clips, put them onto DaVinci Resolve, clip them down to the timeline, and render them. And render those 40 clips in sequence from 1 to 40. And then load it to YouTube. You know? Raw. Raw. Like raw beefs. You know, I don't want a bunch of editing and LUTs and what do they call it? Transitions. I want raw video. And I want high quality, out of the camera, straight out of the camera, and to YouTube as quick as possible. You know, on that day, you know, if I shoot on the 3rd, when I get home, you know, within an hour, I want that loaded, raw. Then if I want to go through and edit and make an edit, and do all kinds of fancy stuff to it, then I'll do that later, or have somebody else do it, or have my kid do it or something. But I think a lot of these YouTubers are missing the whole point. I really do. So, to sum it up, we want raw clips. I want to just load them to DaVinci Resolve 17, those 40 clips. And then I want DaVinci Resolve say, hey, your clip 1 through 12 is 12 minutes of video. And then I could just load 1 through 12 as a 12-minute video and then download it to YouTube. And then my other clips, let's say 13 through 40 is another 12 minutes or 15 minutes, something within that, just over 10 minutes, right? And then we can all start building our channels with just raw video. I mean, you got to admit that a lot of these YouTubers, it's about them. It's about their character. It's about what they say and how they say things that makes them interesting and fun. And you can just watch them and you don't care. You don't care what they're talking about. Nobody cares. It's about them, you know? It really is. I mean, Matty Hohopa, Peter McKinnon, all these guys, MKHD, Casey, you know, it's about their character. It's about their character. But give us a camera that will allow us to show life and be CNBC, to be CNN, to be Ted Turner's news network. I think that's what really motivated me. And like with the drones, you could buy a DJI drone, hook up your phone, and start live broadcasting to Facebook. You used to be able to live broadcast to YouTube, but now you got to have 5,000 subscribers. I'm actually ready to go. I'm going to start putting messages on Blackmagic's website about the 4K Pro. That's the camera I want to see. built-in NDs, global shutter. The other thing I want to see is replaceable parts. I want to have the front of the camera where you can change the lens mounts. You can change the global shutter and put a new global shutter in there, and it's $160, and it just snaps in from the top right behind the NDs with 2 screws that you just pull it out and put in a new one if it's going to break. If there's any breakable parts on the camera, that you can replace them and that there's parts for it. I'm the biggest YouTube hobo. I've had 20 subscribers. 20. But, if we go to the front door in Fullerton, up there in San Francisco, of Black Magic, and start protesting that we want the 4K Pro. 6K is great, but it's just not reasonable with the people's computers, with a laptop, with a low grade. Unless you're going to have a specific computer that's made to edit and made to run those high powered frame rates and high resolutions like 6K and cropping and all this stuff. It's all a bunch of garbage. You're never going to get through to YouTube. And have that for the everyday person. That's not going to be your... I filmed in 1080 at the lowest resolution that the camera has to offer, and it's dynamite. It's way better than any camera I ever saw. It's as good as what I do with the drone, I guess. I've flown a lot of drone. I've done a lot of drone footage, man. Come on. I'm the big guy on Facebook. I got a bunch of groups, and I'm like enterprise. I do all these enterprise groups. So, I just want to keep blowing up YouTube. I want to try to blow up YouTube. I don't really care. I just been watching this camera conspiracies guy. I know. It's like a pillow. It's like a pillow down there. Yeah, I'm 280 pounds. Come on. Got a death sentence over my head right now. You can either not eat or take medication. That's a terrible thing. And that's probably what somebody will comment on. Oh, well, you said you can't eat or take medication. You must be unstable. Are you mad? Are you mad? Are you mad? Yeah, I never said I was a happy person. I didn't say I had to be happy. I didn't never tell anybody they had to be, oh, how are you? I want a global shutter. I want a global shutter. I want a replaceable global shutter. I want it to cost $160. That global shutter is going to break. Because we had this one YouTuber on here just talking about it. I want a global shutter. I want built-in NDs. I want 4K Pro with an external battery. External battery. A replaceable screen, a movable screen. The screen's got to be like $299, $300 for a new screen, and it's removable from the camera. NVMe slot, external battery, T5 slot. So you just plug the T5 right into the camera. Or a slot where you can put it on the top or the side or something. Built right in. No cable hanging out the side. Nothing. It's a slot where you can just plug it in. It sticks out the top halfway in. Maybe it sticks in there halfway. They can do it. How much would be the price now? Well, if the 6K Pro is $24.95, they could probably come in at $18.99, $17.50. Something like that. Maybe $100 less than the 6K. $18.99. 4K Pro. Blackmagic 4K Pro. Global shutter. Built-in NDs. NVMe slot. T5 slot. 2 SD cards. And you can record to everything at the same time. You know? Then if I don't know what the good deal is with these cameras, why you can't delete a clip. You gotta format the whole SD. There's a few other things too that I like to see on there. Simplified DaVinci Resolve. DaVinci Resolve for YouTube hobos. For putting on YouTube raw sequences of your clips. Keep your clips to 30 seconds. Each clip should be 30, maximum 60 seconds. Maximum. You know, like, so if you're filming surfing and you got 20 waves in a row, you got 20 clips that are 30 seconds each, that's 10 minutes, right? Is that correct? Something like that. Well, whatever makes a 10-minute video. You know, because the deal is to monetize these videos. So they got to be 11 minutes. 11, 12, 13 minutes. They got to be over 10 minutes. And you got to keep your viewers. This whole copyright thing is such a bunch of joke, man. I mean, even if you're just walking down the street and somebody's playing music, it ruins your video because they're playing copyrighted music. I mean, how many times do I have to say to somebody, can you please turn off your music because it's going to ruin my video? Because I'm not going to go through and add music. I want the natural. All right, we're going to cut this off. It's asking me to use my cellular data. All right, we'll be back. I'm going to be back. Blackmagic 4K Pro.